Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. Bangladesh is now a model country in the world in the disaster management, said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Russian government has expressed interest in investing mega project in Bangladesh, said Russian Ambassador Alexsandr Mantisky. Mahastami of Durgotsab today. Kumari Puja is not being held in Dhaka this time due to corona solution. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said that Bangladesh is now a model country in the world in disaster management, as it has been able to ease disaster risk remarkably. Today, Bangladesh is appreciated for effective disaster management for the initiative we have taken following the footsteps of the father of the nation, she said, while addressing a virtual program from her official residence, Ganobhavan, on Wednesday. The Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief arranged the program, marking the 50 years of Cyclone Preparedness Program and International Day for the Disaster Reduction in 2021. The audience was connected from the Usmani Smriti Auditorium in the capital and Muktijuddha Field in the Cox's Bazar. Hasina asked all concerned to remain conscious and take proper measures so that the honor Bangladesh achieved as the ideal country over disaster management is not affected in any way. However, Hasina vowed to continue the country's development spree whatever risk come, calling all to act cautiously, keeping the mind of the dangers of disaster. Newly appointed Russian ambassador of Bangladesh, Alexsandr Mantisky, paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina this morning. The Russian ambassador came to Ganobhavan to meet the Prime Minister. He said the Russian government has expressed interest in investing in mega project in Bangladesh. High-ranking officials of the Prime Minister's office were present at the time. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said the Bangladesh wants to side with Russia in tackling the effects of the climate change. She also called the investing of the industrial areas, citing investment-friendly government and environment in the country. Sheikh Hasina also sought the Russian investment in the Bangladesh jute sector. Police have arrested A.H.M. Fuad, the Assistant Personal Secretary of former Minister and Awami League's Advisory Council member Khondokar Musharraf Hussain in the money laundering case. Fuad was arrested from Bosundara residential area in Dhaka on Tuesday night. Fuad is accused in at least 8 cases, and including one file over chiffoning off the 2,000 crore Dhaka out of the country. Fuad is also accused in a case filed over the vandalism in the house of the ruling party's Faridpur Unit President Shubhal Chandra Saha, said Pasha. BNP chairperson Begum Khaleda Zia was again admitted to Evercare Hospital yesterday, and treatment and the medical test. The BNP chief reached the hospital around 4:15 p.m., said her media wing member Saril Kobi Khan. Khaleda Zia was admitted to the hospital as per doctor's advice, said Khaleda's medical team member Dr. A.Z.M. Zahid Hussain. He also said the BNP chief has been undergoing the multiple health checkup at this hospital. The medical board formed earlier, led by Dr. Shahabuddin Talukdar, will continue her treatment. Serbian President Alexander Vučić highly lauded the development journey of Bangladesh under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, despite the challenges posed by the COVID pandemic. Vučić shared the deep appreciation while received the Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen on October 11 at the Palace of Serbia, Belgrade, on the sideline of the ongoing NAM meeting in Belgrade. During the meeting, Momen mentioned the cordial and traditionally close relationship between the Dhaka and Belgrade, which is rooted in history. Today is the Mahastami of Durgotsab. Due to the corona situation, Kumari Puja, one of the formalities of Astami, is not being held in Dhaka this time. Traditional religions believe that the goddess resides in the art of a new form of Mahastami. The formality of the Mahastami begins in the morning with 16 instruments in the scriptures. Then the 5 elements of fire, water, cloth, flower and air are brought to perfection of the ritual of worship. devotees will still spend their days visiting idols in various puja mandap across the country, including Dhaka in the capital. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. At least 9 people are dead and 11 others are missing in the Philippines on Tuesday due to floods and landslide caused by heavy rain from tropical cyclone Kompasu. With maximum sustained winds of 100 kilometers per hour, the 18th tropical storm this year made landfall Monday evening, resulting in the evacuation of nearly 1,600 people across the country. According to the country's disaster agency, it was still verifying information from its regional units that reported 4 people killed in landslide in now North Benguet province, with 5 others killed in the flash flood of Palawan, a southwest island province. Authorities say they were currently conducting a search and rescue for the 11 people missing following the landslide. Kompasu is the 13th tropical storm in the hit the Philippines this year. The Taliban held their first time face-to-face talks with a joint US-EU delegation Tuesday in Qatar as Brussels pledged $1.2 billion in aid for Afghanistan. At the Doha meeting and a conference of the world major economic of the G20, the message for the Taliban was the same. The world is committed to humanitarian aid for the Afghanistan suffering people, and the country must not become a base for the militants. The European Union opened the virtual G20 summit by pledging the €1 billion aid package, including money for urgent humanitarian needs, and Afghanistan never talking Afghan fleeing the Taliban. YouTube is now fighting misinformation against climate change as the video streaming company is banning all adverts and content that spreads false information on climate change. Dalia Nilufar has the more.
The move comes as the Google Ads team announced last week that it will ban monetization of content that contradicts well-established scientific data backing the existence and causes of climate change. Google, the parent company of YouTube, plans to officially implement the new rules next month, when world leaders plan to attend a UN conference aimed at accelerating action to fight climate change. Watchers said the latest move could also put pressure on advertising rival Facebook to crack down on climate misinformation as well. The latest measures by Google were made possible due to a larger number of user and customer complaints. According to the company's advertisement team, a growing number of its advertising and publisher partners expressed concerns about ads that run alongside or promote inaccurate claims about climate change, adding advertisers don't want the ads to appear next to misleading content. Dalia Nulfer, SATV News Desk.
Win Myint, Myanmar's civilian president who was removed from office by the military, has testified that the generals tried to force him to relinquish power hours before the February 1st coup, warning him he could be seriously harmed if he refused, according to his lawyer. The first public comments from Win Myint since he was overthrown challenged the military claim that no coup took place and that power was lawfully transferred to the generals by the acting president. Win Myint was testifying in court alongside Aung San Suu Kyi, the Nobel Peace Prize winner and the de facto government leader before the coup, at the trial on charges including sedition and incitement stemming from the letters bearing their names that were sent to embassies, urging the diplomats not to recognize the military regime. 95-year-old women using a walking stick doesn't usually make news unless you are the Queen of England. Queen Elizabeth II was seen using a walking stick for support the first time as she attended a service at Westminster Abbey on Tuesday. The 95-year-old had previously been using a walking stick in 2003 and 2004 after a knee operation, but this thought to be the first time she has used one more comfort and not for a medical reason. Watchers say the cobalt and the uneven surface outside the abbey is thought to have played a huge role in her decision to use the walking stick. The Queen was part of the congregation of this abbey, representing the group who have been supporting by the loyal region over the past 100 years, including the veterans and their families. Toby, the world's oldest white rhino, has died at the age of 54 in a zoo near the northern city of Verona in Italy. It was affectionately called Nanno Toby. He collapsed on the floor it was the back of his nightmare shelter, and after about half an hour his heart stopped, said zoo authority. Toby will be put on display at the Science Museum in Trento, where he will join Blanco, a white lion from the zoo who died 5 years ago. White rhinos normally live up to 40 years when held in captivity and up to 30 years in the wild, she said. Toby's death, which follows the passing of his female partner Sugar in 2012, leaves the Parco Natula Viva with one remaining white rhino, Benno, age 39. However, there are only 2 examples left of the northern white rhino subspecies who live in Kenya, which are watched round the clock by the armed guard, the environmental groups say. A Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick helped the Portugal stroll to a 5-0 win over Luxembourg in World Cup qualifying Group A on Tuesday. The victory ensures Portugal remain a point behind group leader Serbia, moved on to 17 points with a 3-1 home win over Azerbaijan. Ronaldo became the first man in net 10 international hat-trick takes. He's totally won 15 international goals from 182 caps, as he continued to extend his lead of the top men's international goal scorer in all time. Before ending, we go through the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Bangladesh is now a model country in the world in disaster management, said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Russian government has expressed interest in investing mega project in Bangladesh, said Russian Ambassador Alexsandr Mantesky. Mahastami of Durgotsab today. Kumari Puja is not being held in Dhaka this time due to corona situation. You are up to date with the Euro-Bangla City SATV News headlines again, and visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.